BNSF, Conrail. Two beloved railroads that are known for better or for worse. But why are these two connected for this video? Well, in one bizarre way, it's two locomotives that had a part of them swapped with each other. But how? Let's talk about these two locomotives. That's what I said. The first is BNSF 4560. A -9 44CW built in October 1999, as it was one out of 1,697 new -9s ordered since BNSF's formation in 1995. And aside from that, nothing really noteworthy to talk about regarding this -9. And the second is a slightly older -840CW. In the form of Norfolk Southern 8447, it was originally built in November 1994 as Conrail 752 as part of the LMS. Not the London Midland Scottish Railway, but the Locomotive Management Services. This was part of a leasing service with General Electric and Conrail to bring extra locomotives should the rise in freight traffic occur. 752 was part of the second order of these leaser units, sporting the Conrail quality livery as opposed to the LMS livery, which looked like this. In 1997, the LMS locomotives would be renumbered into the 6200 series, and 2 years later, Conrail will be split between CSX and Norfolk Southern, with 6278 joining the NS side, alongside gaining a patch job and the new number of 8447. Let's jump to the year 2006. The Nintendo Wii and PlayStation 3 hit store shelves, Taylor Swift releases her debut album, the FIFA World Cup occurs in Germany, and the two aforementioned locomotives would be spotted by local rail fans. But something felt off. 4560 had the door off a Conrail locomotive, while 8447 had a shit-covered BNSF door. In hindsight, this was rather odd, but in a way it showed quite a fun contrast between both railroads, as the Conrail blue does look distracting against BNSF's palette of warm colors, and vice versa. But then comes the question, how did this happen? Well, take into account that power sharing, or foreign power, is quite common across all Class 1 railroads, especially in the early 2000s. And this was the site of other company locomotives appearing on each other's trackage, so these would have shown up on either NS or BNSF trackage during this time period. And there is no exact concrete reason as to how the door swap happened, but the likely situation could have been that both locomotives were in the same servicing shop when the doors were swapped between the GEs. Likely due to an issue with the door on the BNSF, probably. In an effort to get the locomotive back in service, an 8447 would have donated its front door to BNSF, with 4560 being back on the road with the Conrail door, and 8447 receiving another door once it returned to service. And after the ordeal, both locomotives went down their own paths, which leads into their fates. 4560 would continue wearing the Conrail door for a handful of years until mid to late 2012, when it was spotted with a orange door in place of the Conrail door. It would continue serving with BNSF until being sold to GECX, then sent over to Wabtec for C6M conversion, before getting its new identity as CN3386. 8447, on the other hand, would still wear its BNSF door until 2011, when it got repainted into Norfolk Southern's Horsehead scheme, and 9 years later, was thrown off the roster in 2020 and sold to Progress Rail for scrapping. A less desirable end compared to rebuilding. Yeah, it's definitely amongst the more unique cases of part swapping. Considering the fact it happens all the time, it can generate some nice one-off locomotives. But in this situation where two different railroads swap doors, it's a lot more unlikely in this situation. And it kind of helps that GE designs around the time were starting to become more identical, which made it easier to swap parts with them. As for where 4560 ended up, it's uncertain if the Conrail door was taken off in 2012, since it could have been repainted or thrown away once it was causing issues. Even if that was the case, the cab of 4560 was removed following its conversion to an AC44 C6M, meaning that the story of the swapped doors, in this case, is finally over.